In a world full of noise, opinions, and endless distractions, learning to focus on yourself and stay silent can be a powerful path to inner peace and personal growth. This topic explores how stepping back from external chaos and turning your attention inward can help you find clarity, build confidence, and protect your energy. It's not about cutting off the world, it's about choosing where to invest your attention wisely. Whether you're on a journey of self-improvement, healing, or simply want to reclaim your mental space, this is a message you need to hear. In a world where everyone has something to say and every platform encourages constant sharing, one of the most powerful things you can do is protect your energy. This idea goes beyond just physical wellness. It's about guarding your mental, emotional, and spiritual space. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you create boundaries that preserve your energy and direct it toward personal growth rather than unnecessary drama or distractions. The reality of energy drain every day. We're surrounded by information, opinions, news, gossip, criticism, and comparison. Social media alone can overwhelm your senses with endless updates about other people's lives. Add to that the daily stresses from work, family, and personal challenges, and it's easy to see why people feel mentally exhausted without even doing anything physical. Much of this exhaustion doesn't come from doing too much, it comes from giving too much attention to the wrong things. Every argument you engage in, every unnecessary debate, every time you over-explain yourself, you're spending energy. And like a bank account, if you keep withdrawing without depositing, you'll go into emotional debt. Protecting your energy is about recognizing where your emotional currency is going and making the conscious decision to save or spend it wisely. Focusing on yourself, the first step to energy management. The moment you decide to stop pleasing everyone, responding to negativity, or explaining your every move, you start taking control of your personal power. Focusing on yourself means prioritizing your well-being, your goals, and your peace of mind. It's not selfish, it's essential. When you turn your attention inward, you start to realize what actually matters. You begin asking questions like, what am I doing with my time? Who do I give my attention to? Is this conversation helping or draining me? Is this argument worth my energy? Most of the time, you'll realize that silence is not just a peaceful response, it's a powerful one. Silence as a shield. Silence is often misunderstood. People think staying quiet is weakness or avoidance. In reality, silence can be a form of strength and protection. When you don't react to negativity, you don't give it fuel. When you stop explaining yourself to people who don't truly care, you regain your power. When you stay quiet in the face of provocation, you maintain control over your emotions. This silence isn't about suppression, it's about intention. You're choosing where to speak, when to act, and what deserves your energy. It's a shield that protects your peace and prevents unnecessary emotional leakage. The benefits of protecting your energy, emotional clarity, by pulling away from noise, you become more aware of your emotions. You can process thoughts without the influence of others, which leads to better emotional health. Mental focus. You have limited mental bandwidth. Protecting your energy ensures you're using it on what truly matters: your goals, dreams, learning, and creativity. Peace of mind. The fewer distractions and toxic interactions you allow into your life, the more calm and centered you feel. Peace becomes your default state, not a rare reward. Stronger relationships. When you're no longer giving your energy to people who don't value it, you start attracting healthier relationships, ones based on mutual respect and support. Improved self-worth. Setting boundaries and saying no through silence shows that you value yourself. You stop seeking validation from others and start recognizing your own inner worth. How to start protecting your energy. Limit your exposure to negativity. This includes people, social media, and even news. If it drains you, mute it, unfollow it, or walk away. Choose silence over arguments. Not everything requires your response. If someone misunderstands or criticizes you unfairly, consider whether it's worth your energy to defend yourself. Create daily quiet time. Spend a portion of your day in silence, whether it's meditation, reflection, or a walk without your phone. Use that time to reconnect with yourself. Practice saying no. You don't owe anyone your time or energy. If it doesn't serve your growth or peace, decline politely and protect your space. Reflect before reacting. When something triggers you, take a pause. Don't react impulsively. Ask yourself if this situation deserves your attention or if it's better left alone. Final thoughts. Protecting your energy isn't just a self-care practice, it's a life philosophy. It teaches you to value your time, emotions, and presence. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you create a powerful inner world that doesn't depend on external validation or noise. You begin to walk with a quiet confidence, fueled not by applause, but by self-awareness and peace. In a chaotic world, protecting your energy is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Silence isn't emptiness, it's space for healing, focus, and transformation. In a fast-paced world filled with noise, opinions, and expectations, clarity is becoming a rare treasure. We're constantly being pulled in multiple directions by society, social media, responsibilities, and even our own overthinking. But when you focus on yourself and stay silent, something powerful happens. You begin to see things more clearly. You gain a deeper understanding of who you are, what you want, and where you're going. This is the foundation of self-awareness, and it's the second powerful reason why staying silent and inward focused can transform your life. The problem with constant noise we live in and always on society, whether it's endless scrolling, non-stop conversations, or reacting to every notification, our minds rarely get a moment to breathe. With so much incoming information, your brain doesn't get the chance to process your own thoughts clearly. It's like trying to hear your own voice in the middle of a concert, nearly impossible. When you constantly engage in external noise, you lose sight of your internal compass. You start comparing yourself to others, chasing goals that aren't yours, and feeling confused about your path. In such a state, true clarity cannot exist. That's where the power of silence comes in. Why silence creates clarity? When you take time to be silent, even for a few minutes a day, you're giving your mind a chance to reset. You're stepping back from the crowd and turning inward. In silence, you're no longer reacting, you're reflecting. You begin to filter what truly matters and what doesn't. It becomes easier to separate your voice from the voices of others. This is the moment when clarity starts to emerge. You begin to ask yourself meaningful questions like, what do I really believe? What goals matter to me, not to society or social media? What am I feeling right now, and why? The more you practice silence and self-focus, the clearer your answers become. You stop drifting and start directing. Self-awareness. The key to personal growth, self-awareness, is the ability to understand your emotions, behaviors, strengths, and weaknesses. It's knowing your patterns and triggers, and being honest about where you are and where you need to go. When you stay silent, you gain space to become more self-aware. Instead of being caught up in distractions or other people's opinions, you get to observe yourself, almost like stepping outside your own body and watching how you think and react. This is important because you stop blaming others and start taking responsibility. You make decisions based on your truth, not pressure. You understand your values and learn to live by them. The more self-aware you are, the better your choices become. You begin to live with intention rather than by default. How silence helps you understand yourself. Here's what silence can help reveal: your emotional triggers. In silence, you can reflect on what situations cause anger, sadness, or anxiety. You begin to recognize patterns and take steps to heal or manage them. Your true desires, away from noise and distractions. You can ask, what do I really want from life? you'll be surprised how often your answers differ from what you thought they were. Your strengths and weaknesses. Silence allows honest reflection. You can admit where you're strong and where you need to improve without judgment or ego. Your boundaries. When you spend time alone, you learn what kind of energy you want around you and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Practical ways to gain clarity through silence. Journaling in silence. Write down your thoughts without distraction. This helps organize emotions and clears mental clutter. Meditation or mindful breathing, just 5-10 minutes a day of quiet. Focused breathing can help you reset your mind and gain deeper clarity. Silent walks alone. Walking without headphones or a phone allows your mind to wander freely and process thoughts in a natural rhythm. Digital detox time. Dedicate an hour a day with no screens, no scrolling, no input, just you and your thoughts. Ask yourself hard questions. Sit in silence and ask, am I happy? What needs to change? What's holding me back? Let the answers come without force. The results of clarity and self-awareness. Once you gain clarity through silence, everything begins to shift. You make decisions faster and with more confidence. You stop needing constant validation from others. You set goals that actually align with your true self. You become emotionally grounded, not easily shaken by setbacks or criticism. Ultimately, clarity helps you move from confusion to purpose, and self-awareness becomes your compass, guiding you through life with authenticity and intention. Final thoughts. The simple act of staying silent and turning inward might seem small, but it holds the power to transform your life from the inside out. When you focus on yourself, you reclaim your thoughts, your emotions, and your direction. And in that space of stillness, you begin to know yourself truly and deeply. Clarity isn't something you find in the world. It's something you uncover within. Conflict is a natural part of life. Whether it's in relationships, workplaces, or social circles, disagreements and misunderstandings happen, but not every battle is worth fighting. In fact, many conflicts drain your energy, steal your peace, and distract you from your true purpose. When you learn to focus on yourself and stay silent, you develop the wisdom to choose your battles, and more often than not, you'll find that silence is the most powerful response you can give. The high cost of constant conflict. We live in a time where people feel the need to respond to everything, to defend, correct, and argue their point of view. Whether it's a rude comment, a misjudgment, or someone trying to provoke you, the instinct is to react instantly. But here's the truth. Not every comment needs a response, and not every conflict deserves your energy. When you constantly engage in arguments, especially those that are petty or unproductive, you exhaust yourself mentally and emotionally. You allow others to control your mood, hijack your focus, and influence your behavior. Over time, this can lead to increased stress and anxiety, damaged relationships, reduced productivity, loss of peace, and self-control. Now ask yourself, is it worth it? Silence, the unsung hero in conflict management. Silence is often mistaken for weakness or avoidance, but in reality, silence is strength in its purest form. It shows that you are in control of your emotions, that you don't need to prove yourself, and that your peace is more valuable than being right. By staying silent, you de-escalate tension before it turns into something bigger. Give yourself time to think clearly instead of reacting impulsively. Refuse to fuel negativity with more negativity. Maintain your dignity. No matter how others behave, sometimes the most powerful move you can make is no move at all. Focusing on yourself means letting go of ego. Many conflicts are born out of ego, the need to be seen, heard, validated, or respected. When someone offends you or challenges your opinion, your ego wants to respond. It wants to win, but focusing on yourself teaches you a better path. It shifts your focus from proving others wrong to improving yourself. You start asking better questions. Is this worth my peace? Will this matter in 24 hours, a week, or a year? Does responding to this add value to my life, or just feed my pride? Most of the time, you'll find the answer is no. True strength is in choosing growth over ego, silence over reaction. Real life examples of when to stay silent when someone is provoking you, if someone is intentionally trying to trigger you. Responding only gives them what they want. Your silence shows maturity and self-control. When the argument is going in circles, some discussions don't go anywhere. You say something, they twist it. You clarify, they still don't listen. Silence here is a form of self-respect. When you've already made your point once, you've calmly expressed yourself. Repeating it or arguing further won't change closed minds. Let your words sit and walk away. When the other person is emotional or irrational, trying to reason with someone who is angry or emotional often leads to escalation. Wait until emotions settle or choose to disengage completely. The benefits of avoiding unnecessary conflict: more emotional peace, you protect your mental space from unnecessary stress and tension. Stronger relationships, people respect those who don't explode over every disagreement. You become a calming presence in difficult situations. Increased focus with fewer emotional distractions. Your energy stays where it belongs on your goals and personal growth. Inner confidence: when you no longer need to prove yourself to others, you develop true inner strength and self-assurance. How to practice this in daily life: pause before responding when someone says something triggering. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth it? Use the "is it helpful?" rule. If what you're about to say won't help the situation or bring peace, it may be better left unsaid. Journal instead of reacting. Write out your thoughts instead of arguing. This gives you clarity without confrontation. Set clear boundaries. Let people know, respectfully, that you won't engage in toxic behavior or endless debates. Walk away when needed. It's okay to exit conversations, social media discussions, or even relationships that are constantly conflict-driven. Final thoughts: avoiding unnecessary conflict doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you're wise enough to know when something deserves your voice and when it's better to protect your peace. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you give yourself the gift of control, not over others, but over your own emotions and reactions. Silence isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of self-mastery. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to feel like you're constantly busy, but not actually getting anything meaningful done. You wake up, check your phone, get pulled into conversations, react to news, respond to unnecessary drama, and before you know it, the day is gone and your goals are untouched. The truth is, many people are drained not because of how much they are doing, but because of where they're focusing their energy. That's where the power of focusing on yourself and staying silent becomes life-changing. When you stop engaging in distractions and direct your energy inward, your productivity can skyrocket. Productivity is about focus, not just action. Many people confuse movement with progress. You can be running all day, but still not move forward, especially if you're spending your time on things that don't align with your purpose. Real productivity comes from clarity, discipline, and deep focus, all of which become possible when you begin focusing on yourself and cutting out the noise around you. Staying silent isn't just about avoiding drama, it's about choosing not to waste energy on things that don't serve your goals. This means not getting caught in gossip or useless conversations, not reacting to every opinion on social media, not explaining yourself to people who aren't invested in your growth, not letting other people's priorities distract you from your mission. When you stay focused and silent, you reclaim your time and energy, the two most valuable resources you have. The Hidden Time Thieves. Let's break down what silently steals your productivity every day. Overtalking. Too many people spend hours talking about what they want to do instead of actually doing it. Silence helps you shift from saying to doing. People pleasing. Always trying to keep others happy or explain your actions takes up massive mental bandwidth. Staying focused on yourself allows you to prioritize your own tasks and deadlines. Social media distractions, mindless scrolling, and reacting to others' lives pulls you away from your own. Staying silent helps you resist the urge to constantly engage online. Unnecessary conversations, casual chats, complaints, and pointless debates drain your mental energy. The more you listen instead of speaking, the more you realize how much time can be saved. By avoiding these silent productivity killers, you free up mental space to do what actually matters. How silence enhances productivity. Here's how choosing silence and self-focus can elevate your work, creativity, and results. Mental clarity. When you stop speaking and reacting so much, your mind becomes calmer. A quiet mind is a focused mind, and a focused mind is highly productive. Stronger concentration. Distractions reduce your attention span. Silence trains your brain to stay in the present, helping you work deeply on important tasks. Time ownership. You stop giving away your time to things that don't matter. Instead, you start building routines, setting goals, and completing tasks more efficiently. Flow state. The best work happens when you enter a state of flow, complete immersion in the task. Silence and solitude are the fastest ways to reach that state. Less mental exhaustion. Arguing, defending yourself, or multitasking wears you down. Staying silent helps conserve energy so you can stay sharp throughout the day. Simple ways to boost productivity by staying silent. Start your day in silence instead of diving into messages and noise. Spend the first 30-60 minutes of your day without speaking or consuming content. Reflect, journal, or plan your goals. Block out quiet work hours. Schedule specific times during your day when you won't talk to anyone, check your phone, or take calls. These focused blocks are where real work happens. Don't announce every move. Work in silence and let your results speak. The more you talk about what you're going to do, the less pressure you feel to actually do it. Mute notifications and reduce conversations. Silence isn't just verbal, it's also digital. Turn off notifications, minimize chats, and limit meetings that don't serve your focus. Speak less, observe more in meetings or group settings, listen more than you speak. You'll gain insight, avoid wasting time, and often solve problems more efficiently. Long-term benefits of silent productivity. Massive goal progress with fewer distractions. You'll find yourself hitting goals faster and often surprising yourself with how much you can achieve in a short time. A reputation for results. When you focus on doing rather than talking, people begin to see you as reliable, disciplined, and successful. Self-discipline and consistency. Silence builds inner strength. The more you practice focusing on your own path, the easier it becomes to stay consistent over time. A sense of control. Productivity is deeply connected to confidence. When you complete your goals without noise or chaos, you feel empowered and in control of your life. Final thoughts. In a world that rewards loudness, silence is your secret weapon. Focusing on yourself and staying silent is not about isolation, it's about intention. You choose where your energy goes. You choose what you respond to. You choose to build rather than react. When you cut out the distractions, disengage from drama, and stop announcing every move, you give yourself the space to create, execute, and excel. Your productivity doesn't just improve, it transforms. We live in a world where everyone is talking on social media, in meetings, in conversations, and sometimes just to be seen or heard. But words, no matter how powerful they sound, mean very little without action to back them up. That's why one of the most powerful principles in life is this: let your actions speak. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you give yourself the space to work on your goals quietly and let your progress speak louder than your promises. Talk less, do more. Talking about your plans, goals, and dreams can feel exciting. But often, people fall into the trap of spending more time talking about what they want to do than actually doing it. They share every idea, announce every intention, and seek validation before even taking the first step. But here's the truth. People respect results, not intentions. When you act more and talk less, two things happen. You create real progress instead of just the illusion of it. You reduce pressure and distractions that come from external opinions. Working in silence allows you to stay focused. You don't waste energy justifying your goals or explaining your path to others. You simply walk it, and eventually people notice. The power of quiet progress: when you silently make moves, your results become your voice. Whether it's personal development, financial growth, health improvement, or career success, people will see the change. You won't need to convince them. You won't need to announce every step. Instead of saying, "I'm working on myself," you become calmer, stronger, and more confident. Instead of saying, "I'm starting a business," you launch it and let the success speak. Instead of telling the world, "I'm not who I used to be," you let your transformation prove it. Progress has a sound, and it's louder than any explanation you could ever give. Why people overtalk and how to avoid it: most people overtalk because of insecurity, fear, or the need for approval. They want to be seen as someone doing something important, so they announce their goals to feel momentarily validated. But in doing so, they create two problems. They open themselves up to doubt and criticism. When you share too much too early, others may discourage you, question your plan, or offer unhelpful opinions which can throw you off track. They reduce their own urgency to act. Talking about your goals gives a false sense of accomplishment. Your brain gets the reward of validation, making you less driven to follow through. By staying silent and focusing on doing, you bypass both of these traps. You stay hungry, you stay focused. You let your work, not your words, define you. Benefits of letting your actions speak: respect and trust. People begin to take you seriously, not because of what you say, but because of what they see you accomplish. Clarity and focus: when you're not explaining yourself all the time, you keep your energy concentrated on execution. Inner confidence: the more you accomplish in silence, the more your confidence grows, not from others, but from your own integrity. Freedom from judgment: no one can criticize or interfere with plans they don't know about. Silence gives you control, momentum. When you stop talking and start doing, even small wins build momentum that leads to big results. How to apply this principle in your life: work silently behind the scenes. Whether you're working on fitness, starting a project, or building a skill, keep it to yourself until there's something meaningful to show. Use journals instead of announcements. Want to document your journey? Great, just do it privately. Write about your progress, goals, and lessons learned. You don't need to post it for the world to see. Celebrate milestones quietly. You don't need applause to validate your effort. Let the satisfaction of growth be your reward. Let others notice without you saying a word. People will eventually ask, "You've changed. What are you doing?" That's when your actions have spoken loud enough. Stay disciplined and consistent. Focus on the process. The results will come, and when they do, they'll speak volumes. No explanation needed. Examples of action over words: fitness: don't say, "I'm getting in shape." Show up consistently. Let the transformation speak. Business: don't say, "I'm going to be successful." Deliver great work and let your results attract attention. Mindset: don't say, "I've changed." Move differently. Speak with wisdom. Set boundaries. People will feel it. Healing: don't announce you're healing or growing. Just become peaceful, mature, and self-aware. It shows. Final thoughts: in a noisy world full of empty promises and oversharers, be the one who moves quietly and powerfully. Don't seek approval. Don't explain every step. Don't feed your ego with words. Feed your soul with discipline, action, and results. Let your life speak for itself. Let your actions become your voice. Let your success tell your story. The loudest success is the one that doesn't need to be shouted. In a world that encourages constant validation, quick reactions, and instant gratification, the ability to build inner strength and discipline is both rare and powerful. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you begin to master the most important arena in life, your inner world. You stop being reactive, you stop relying on external approval, and you start building unshakable self-control. This is what sets apart the average from the extraordinary. Inner strength. What it really means, inner strength, is not about physical power or dominating others. It's about mastering your emotions, staying calm under pressure, and making conscious decisions even when it's hard. It's what helps you say no when everyone else says yes, stay grounded when chaos surrounds you, keep going. When motivation fades, maintain peace. When you're misunderstood, stick to your path without needing applause. This strength doesn't come from outside, it's built quietly, daily from within. The role of silence in building strength. Silence isn't emptiness, it's space. Space for thinking, reflecting, feeling, and growing. When you stop talking and start listening to your inner voice, you begin to understand yourself at a deeper level. You discover what triggers you, what motivates you, what your patterns are, and from there, you begin the journey of self-mastery. Silence teaches you to respond, not react, and that's where discipline is born. Discipline, the muscle behind growth. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's choosing long-term gain over short-term comfort, and it's built through small daily choices often made in silence. When you choose to, wake up early to work on your goals, say no to distractions, stick to your commitments, resist the urge to argue or explain, focus on your own lane. You are developing discipline, and with every silent choice you make for your growth, you become stronger inside. The power of self-control. Self-control is a form of freedom. The more control you have over your emotions, words, and actions, the less control the world has over you. Staying silent, especially when you want to react, is one of the strongest forms of self-control. For example, when someone disrespects you, reacting emotionally gives them power. Staying calm and silent keeps your power. When you're tempted to quit, discipline reminds you why you started, even when motivation fades. When everyone's watching, you don't need to prove anything. You keep building silently and let the results speak. Self-control isn't about suppression, it's about direction. You're not holding emotions in. You're choosing where and when to express them for maximum impact. Silence plus focus equals mental toughness. Mental toughness is developed in solitude. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you're training your mind to resist distractions, manage stress, and keep your eyes on your purpose. You learn how to sit with discomfort without running from it, think clearly without outside influence, push through mental barriers, endure failure without losing faith, stay consistent without praise. All of these traits come from inner strength, and all are forged in the quiet. Practical ways to build inner strength and discipline. Morning discipline rituals. Start your day with structure. Wake up early, set your goals, and spend time in silence to align your mind before the world pulls at you. Delayed gratification. Practice. Train your brain to wait. Skip unnecessary pleasures like scrolling or junk food and reward yourself after completing a task. Emotional control exercises. When triggered, pause. Breathe, don't react. This builds emotional maturity and control. Daily silent reflection. Take 15-30 minutes daily to be alone with your thoughts. Journal, walk, or just sit in quiet. This strengthens self-awareness and direction. Distraction fasting. Spend blocks of time without entertainment, noise, or external opinions. This sharpens your focus and strengthens your ability to stay present. Keep promises to yourself. Discipline grows when you follow through even when no one is watching. If you say you'll do something, do it. The long-term rewards. When you build inner strength and discipline, life starts to shift. You stop depending on motivation and act from purpose. You gain clarity in chaos and peace in pressure. You become emotionally stable, not reactive. You rise in silence while others are stuck in noise. You build a reputation for reliability, consistency, and integrity. Most importantly, you develop self-respect, the kind that can't be given by others or taken away. Final thoughts, inner strength, and discipline are not talents, they are habits. Habits that are built when you turn down the noise, step away from the crowd, and go inward. The more silent strength you build, the louder your presence becomes. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to explain. You simply become. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Train your mind. Strengthen your soul. And let the quiet work you do now become the loud success others can't ignore later.